Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we're going to start our little string of some more premium reviews, at least premium in my price range. Today we are starting off with the Berg Blades Iron Pup. Now, before I go any further in this review, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, before I go too deep into this knife, I want to talk a little bit about the place I bought this knife from. I picked this up via Way of Knife. This is a business up in Traverse City, Michigan. As you guys know, I'm from Michigan, so wanted to send a little business their way, and I actually had an idea with this knife, and I did a very Wayne-like thing that I'll talk about here right now. Way of Knife is very unique in the way they do their business. They are a knife shop. They sell knives, but they also mod knives, and they mod what they sell. They also have a sharpening service if you just want your knife sharpened. But they do absolutely incredible modifications to knives, and they look just fantastic. Jump on their Instagram and check them out. I'm gonna link the website to Way of Knife in the description of this video, and definitely look them up on Instagram as well, because they have a lot of great examples on their website, but they really show off on Instagram, and it's amazing work. So they do a very good job. And I thought, you know what? Not only am I going to buy a knife, I'm going to support their unique business style, the business they have going here, and I'm going to get this thing modded. But then the more I looked at this, I really love this simple look. The all titanium and very quality CPM 20 CV steel. Just a very nice, clean package altogether. So I didn't want to touch this one, so I just bought this. But now I do have an idea of a knife that I want to get, actually two knives. One, I need some tune-up and some adjustments. Another one I want to get modded. I'm going to send that to them at some point here within the next couple weeks or month or whatnot. But definitely check them out. They are awesome. Now let's get right into this knife. Let's get into the specifications. We have an overall length of 6.75 inches, a blade length of 2.85 inches, a blade width right around kind of 0.9-ish of an inch. We have a cutting edge of 2.75 inches, blade thickness coming in at 0.156 inches. As I said before, this is CPM 20 CV steel. I was able to say it a lot smoother this time, so way to go, Wayne. We have a blade style of a clip point with a really nice hollow grind, a handle length of 3.75 inches, handle thickness coming in at 0.53, and we have a handle width of 0.85 inches average. It curves around a little, but anywhere from probably 0.83 up to 0.9 at its widest point, but 0.85 is kind of the average, so a little under an inch. Feels very good in hand. We have titanium handle materials with a tip-up right-hand only carry. So again, lefties have to sit this one out, unfortunately, but I do really like the clean look without any ways of, moving the clip over. We have a weight of 3.75 inches, designed by Matt Berg of Berg Blades. This is actually a run he did with We Knives. As everyone knows who We Knives is, one of the best. They're starting to become my favorite premium Chinese manufacturer. Talk a little more about that in an upcoming video. But overall price of $285 on this guy. So it's definitely up there. It's a little more for a knife than I've spent lately, but I wanted to buy this for a couple of reasons. One, I think this is just an amazing design, and I like it just as much as I was hoping I would. But I also wanted to support Matt Berg. Matt Berg, I'm going to link his website in this video as well. And really just because I think the guy's pretty badass. He's a full-time firefighter in Arizona, and he's also a pretty amazing knife maker on the side. So he does a lot of charitable work around Christmas. He takes time out of his busy schedule to make some amazing custom knives, sell them, and all that money he turns around and buys gifts for less fortunate families around the holidays. He just does a lot of really great things. So I wanted to support him. And of course, I also just wanted to add this to my collection because I really, really do like it. Do have a couple things, the little nitpicky things to say about it. My biggest issue we'll get to here in just a bit, but let's do some size comparisons before we get into all the details. We'll start off here with another nice little small carry, the Finch Model 1929. I think I called this the Model 1920 one day, so I'm not surprised by it, but I'm not necessarily happy about it. But there you go. And this is the Wee Banter. As you can see, pretty good comparisons there. 3 very nice small knives. And one a little more on the premium side. Next up, just one other quick size comparison here. We have the Civivi Elementum. And we have the Benchmade Bug Out. Even that up here. That's probably the only one I really needed to do. Everyone knows these 2 knives. So as you can see, it's a very nice, I wouldn't call it a small knife. It's definitely more of the, I guess, schmedium. I don't know. I'm constantly changing my mind on what exactly is a small knife because I'm starting to carry a lot of 5th pocket knives. So obviously I just consider them knives, but I consider those small knives. So I wouldn't necessarily consider this small. I would definitely put this between small and medium somewhere. But now let's get into it. Let's get in about this blade because this is a blade that is definitely made to use and use pretty hard. It is thick, but it's also ground very well, so it's going to make a very nice slicer. I got 19 thousandths behind the edge, which is pretty darn good. The hollow grind is going to be very effective in slicing. Would have been nice if the hollow grind would have went up a little farther, but I really like the way it's all designed with the grind coming up to be level with the tip of the knife. It just looks very attractive. Very nice swedge here, and great jimping on the back on the spine of the blade. Another thing to note is the thumb studs on this guy stick out quite a bit, but they're also behind the cutting path for the most part. I mean, maybe just a quarter of it or a third of it is a little over the cutting path, but odds are you're not going to be, cutting that deep into the blade anyway. But they do kind of have to be because you have some thick handles here, thicker than normal. I don't dislike it. As a matter of fact, I'm not knocking it at all. I'm just simply pointing out that is why when you have this closed, you gotta have the thumb studs stick out a little more than other knives this size to simply work for the action. But I got no issue with it. Thought it was just worth pointing out. It's definitely the biggest thumb studs I've seen on a knife this size, but I have no problem with it. They're actually not big in circumference, just in how far they stick out, which again, no problem since they're pretty much behind the cutting path. This is actually overall just a tank of a knife in general. I mean, the video doesn't do it justice. You have to get one in hand to feel just how sturdy this is. It is a very, very well-built knife. It's actually it's super smooth. Super, super smooth. As I said, it's made by Wee, so you kind of have to expect that. But this just feels, of all the knives I have in this size category, this is, I would have to say, this is the most substantial feeling of them. It just feels very beefy, very tough. Feels like it would easily last a lifetime. And it's also, when it comes to handles and ergos, I do like them. They're not the best ever, but I do really like them because this is just big enough to where I can get a full 4-finger grip right here. Or if I want to, I can also choke up a little. And I'm not scared doing that because my index finger wraps around pretty good right here. And it feels pretty well. It's obviously not a choil, I don't think, for a full index finger, but I'm using it as that, and I got no problem with it, and I kind of like it. So that's a good thing in my book. The one issue I do have with this knife, and it is mainly due to the handles, is the weight of this knife. I know 3.75 ounces doesn't sound super heavy, but when you're talking a knife of this size, you do feel it. And one thing this knife could really use is some internal milling because it don't have any. It has no internal milling whatsoever. I think if they would have milled a little out, maybe up on this side where the where the frame lock is and on the show side of the scale, I think that would have made a massive, massive difference in just overall feel and hand. Like I said, the feel's not bad, but you do notice the weight. It's like taking a bug out and putting copper scales on it. So I don't hate that bug out with copper scales. I really, really like it. I've had that for a long time, and I'll probably be keeping it for a very long time. So same goes for this knife. It just, I do think a little internal milling would have done this knife wonders. But other than that, this knife is very, very good when it comes to handles. The pocket clip's very nice. No hot spot whatsoever, actually. For some reason, I was kind of figuring a knife this small with a clip sticking out like that, I was going to feel it more than I wanted to, but it's really not that bad. I think it's because it is just such a small, compact design in my hand. It really isn't that bad. Sometimes I don't always have the perfect answer for why something is the way it is, but hey, this works. So not going to complain or try and give any false information about it. I just like it. As for the action on this guy was a little, I don't want to say, I guess stiff or a little more hydraulic-y, not so much snappy or, I definitely, I did take some KPL. I didn't open this knife. I didn't take it apart yet, but I did take some KPL, and I took some compressed air, just put a few drops in there and kind of hit it with the air to get it in there, and that made a huge difference. Literally, you guys would be surprised if you've never done that. Try doing that with a knife that you think needs to be loosened up a little without touching the pivot or anything. Just spray some KPL. I personally like KPL. Any type of lightweight nano oil. Spray in there with some compressed air. Makes a huge difference. I heard Slicey Dicey say that one day, and I took him up on that suggestion, and been doing it a lot ever since. So it was a really good call by him. But no, the action on this knife is great. Detent's solid. It feels like a we-built knife, and that's always a good thing. I'm trying to think back, I've never had any type of quality issue with a we-produced knife. So that does say a lot. I've handled my fair share of Wiis, and they pretty much are my favorite Chinese manufacturer at this point. And they held their end up here very well here. This is overall just a very excellent design by Matt and a very excellent execution of fit and finish by Wii. Just a very, very nice package. If you like smaller knives, this is one you definitely want to hop on. They are available still at a lot of places. I've seen them at Knife Center. They have them at Way of Knife, which I'm going to have linked here. And I believe Matt also still has some available on his website, which is also going to be linked down there. So buy them from Matt, buy them from Way of Knife. If they're sold out, go check out Knife Center and other places. I'm sure you can find them at other places. I don't have them all linked. I'm only going to link those two. But if you like them, I would say hop on one. They have a lot of other variants with carbon fiber or G10 inlays with black titanium and a black blade, or I think a full stone-washed option. I really like this blasted and satin finish here. Who knows? I may get a little customization from Way of Knife done to it someday, but right now I just really, really like this the way it is. Very simple, classy design, beautiful lines, and a great, great, great EDC. So, very good job, Matt, on the design. Good job, Wii, on the execution. What do you guys think? I'm sure a lot of you probably know of Berg Blades. Is this new for anyone? Let me know if you haven't heard of him. If you haven't heard of him, check out his website. Definitely worth checking out. He has some pretty cool designs of other knives worth looking at. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and until the next one, I'm out.